What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to GA Fan TV. Galway 24 points, Wexford 212. This is the instant match reaction after Galway get themselves a big win, an opening day win in Salt Hill, and it's a massive result for Henry Shefflin's men. It certainly didn't look too good for Galway when they conceded those early two goals, and certainly in the first half, Galway, they were flat enough at times and they couldn't really get going defensively. They were doing a lot of good work, but they were just struggling really to find their mojo. End of the first half, they click into gear, and then in the second half, they really did pull away from there. Evan Nyland, fantastic performance from him, 13 points in total, majority of which were from place balls, but really good from him. Brian Concannon as well, very good performance. And defensively, you have to give Galway a lot of credit. Jack Grealish, you know, the Galway fans must say to Manchester City fans that our Jack Grealish is better than yours. And this version of Jack Grealish is very good at the opposite end of the pitch, keeping the ball out of the goal. And he was outstanding. You know, at cornerback, he was my man of the match. I thought he had an outstanding game for Galway. Couple of moments where he got some key challenges in. He won a few 50-50 battles. His support play was very good as well. And it was a really strong performance from him. Grode McInerney had a very solid game as well. A fullback, TJ Brennan, got himself a vital score in the game. And he was very good. But yeah, you know, a fantastic turnaround from Galway because, you know, when those goals go in from Conor McDonald and Liam McGovern, you're thinking, you know, this is not the start that Galway want. And as I was saying, they just looked a little bit flat. They struggled really to get going, struggled to find their mojo. But in fairness to Galway, they kept plugging away. They didn't panic. You know, they didn't push any panic buttons or any of that nature. And they just slowly crept into Wexford's lead. And there was a moment halfway through the first half where Rory O'Connor hit a couple of frees. Cathal Dunbar, I remember, scored a big point, and you were thinking, it just looks like it's not Galway's day at the office. But right at the end of the first half, Evan Nyland with 3 unanswered points. Conor Cooney then gets himself a score as well. Galway going level going into the second half. And look, Wexford had a lot of injuries. Obviously, Lee Chin didn't start the game. Damien Reck was unavailable as well. A few other players went off with injuries. So it was a tough day at the office from a Wexford point of view. And you don't want to be too critical of their performance. But I just thought in the second half, they were very flat. Very flat. And, you know, this was a walk in the park for Galway. As soon as Galway came out and, you know, started, you know, kicking away or hitting away with scores like Cathal Mannion and Conor Whelan got a couple of points. I think they hit 5 or 6 points without reply before Wexford got their second point of the second half. I think, you know, one stage in the second half, Galway outscored Wexford, I think like 8 points to 1 before Jack O'Connor scores a point for Wexford in around the 50th minute. So like it was a flat enough performance from Wexford in the second half. And I know you'd say that they had injuries and, you know, they'd no Lee Chin, no Damien Reck, you know, Jeremy O'Keefe going off, fewer lads picking up injuries. But yeah, I wasn't too impressed with Wexford in the second half. It was way too easy for Galway, way too easy. And it felt more like it felt more like a league game, you know, for Wexford. Like they didn't seem to really, like there was no emphasis to try get goals or float balls in around the square and just try and make a game of it. It felt like they accepted defeat from about the 50th minute. And like if I was a Wexford supporter, I'd be pretty disappointed, to be honest with you, because score difference could be vital. Score difference could play a huge part. It always plays a part in the Leinster round robin. You only have to look back to last year. And I thought for Wexford, like they could have done more there, in my opinion, to stem the bleeding and to get back into the game. But like you have to credit Galway, like they were just winning all the 50-50s in the second half, winning the breaking ball. As I said, Jack Grealish was phenomenal in and around cornerback. Daithí Burke had a very good game as well. You know, Conor Cooney, Cathal Mannion, these lads, experienced players in the side for Galway, done very well. They were winning a lot of frees, winning a lot of breaking ball. And it was very impressive from a Galway perspective. Few comments coming in there. Let's have a look. Tom says if Wexford hadn't got the 2 early goals, they wouldn't have ever been in this game. Yeah, and that's the point, isn't it? Like when you think about just 12 points in a championship game, like you know, it's not a great look, really, is it, for Wexford? And And those 2 goals kept them in it. They obviously missed the penalty as well, which, if that goes in, maybe the game changes ever so slightly and they would have got back into the game. But yeah, like it just felt like they really sort of accepted defeat, Wexford. They couldn't get their forwards into the game at all. Conor McDonald scored 1-1, but he wasn't really in the game at all for Wexford. Cathal Dunbar, Rory O'Connor. And look, as I said, like they were missing players, missing Lee Chin, missing Damien Reck. Jeremy O'Keefe goes off injured. Oisin Foley goes off as well. McGuckian, like, did a lot of injuries. They did have a lot of injuries, but at the same time, I think Wexford can play better than that. Considering I don't even think Galway were at their best today. I don't even think they were at their brilliant best. And there was an opportunity in the first half for Wexford to really sort of put the foot on the neck of this Galway side and put them under massive pressure, because you could see even the Galway fans were getting a little bit frustrated. They were missing a few wides. I remember they missed a few chances, and a win today would have been huge for Wexford, considering, Dublin obviously failed to beat Antrim in Corrigan Park earlier today. So maybe the defeat isn't the end of the world, because that's a massive point dropped for Dublin, and it puts Dublin on the back foot hugely now, in my opinion. And maybe it's me who jinxed the draw with the fact I'm wearing a jumper that very much mirrors what the Antrim players were wearing in terms of their jersey. But that I didn't see any of the game, but it was very, very disappointing not to come out of that with a win. And it allows it does give Wexford a bit of an edge. But saying that, Wexford will need to improve. They will need to improve, and I know they have injuries and everything else, but like, you would still expect them their standards to be a bit higher in my opinion. But if Lee Chin comes back for the next game, if you get Damien Reck back, these lads, then I think they will have enough to get out of Leinster. But will they have enough to progress beyond an All-Ireland quarter-final or even get to a Leinster final? I'm not so sure. But yeah, brilliant performance from Galway. Well, not a brilliant performance, but the second half was excellent. The second half was really, really strong, and turning that around, it would have been a massive, massive blow to confidence and psychologically and everything else if they had have lost this game. The fact they turned it around in the way that they did was hugely, hugely impressive. And are Galway one of the closest teams to Limerick? They certainly should be, on the basis of what they produced, what they've produced in the last couple of years, the performances against Limerick, the underage players that are coming through. Galway are motoring well in terms of underage. Like, so you would expect those players to kick on. But will they actually beat Limerick in a championship game this year? I'm not so sure that they will. But it was a great result, a great win, and sets them up nicely now, playing Kilkenny, I believe it is, next week, which, Galway Kilkenny games are always absolute classics. So cheers anyone who tuned in. Let me know your opinions, your comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts on the game was. Man of the match will go for Jack Grealish in a cornerback. I thought he had a very, very impressive game indeed. Evan Nyland was very good as well, in fairness. 13 points, majority of which were from frees, but still a very, very good performance from him. So yeah, let me know your opinions, your thoughts in the comments down below, and we will speak to you